Alright, what's going on, guys? My name is Antonio, and this is the AAS All Around Sports. I'm your host, Antonio. Today, I am talking about the San Francisco 49ers of a specific topic. They are entering into a game this week against the Green Bay Packers, but the Packers came off a big whooping on the Dallas Cowboys last week, and the 49ers just came off 2 weeks of rest. So, the question is this run for San Francisco a Super Bowl or bust for this team? So I'm going to be going over reasons why it is or isn't. I'm going to be going over what tasks lie in their path. I'm going to be going over loads of things. But before I get started, as you all know, I am a Seahawks fan. Now, I have much respect for the Niners faithful, the faithful of the Bay. But I am a Seahawks fan. I'm a diehard. I've been a diehard since birth. You're all probably wondering why I have a Golden State flag up next to me. Now, it would have been the Seattle Supersonics, but they no longer exist. They got moved over to OKC. So until Seattle gets another team for NBA reasons, Golden State is my team because of Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. But enough about that. Also, before we get started, if you guys do enjoy this video, please make sure to hit that like button down below, subscribe if you're new, turn on the notification bell for day-to-day updates for my videos. For now, let's get this thing started. So, this is a Super Bowl or bust for San Francisco, and let me tell you why. Because this Niners team, we've thought of all season as one of the best teams in the league until they got pounded by the Ravens. But we look at this game going against the Packers. You've dominated them for the last 4 times in the playoffs against Aaron Rodgers. However, it's a different circumstance coming against Jordan Love. He actually leads the league in quarterback ratio, quarterback QBR, and also along with touchdown interception ratio. Since week 11, he's had, going into the game, he had 28 touchdown passes and 1 interception. Now, the 49ers, I still think, are going to win this game against the Packers, but if they lose, let's just take, for example, that they lose to the Packers. Let's say, for example, they do lose. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm just saying for example. If they lose, you're losing a lot of key weapons going into the offseason. Like, example, Chase Young. You traded for him with Washington. And Chase Young's looking for his big Supermax deal. You can't pay for Bosa and Chase Young at the same time. So you're going to have to let him go unless you make some big changes. But this Niners offense has been incredible. Now, here's the one concern about this game for me, for the 49ers Brock Purdy. We have looked at Purdy throughout the season, being probably a great candidate for MVP. I've said on a few occasions he's not elite. Because if we look at the times when he's up, he has more touchdown passes than when he's down. When he's down, he has more interceptions than when he's up. So, if the Packers can get a lead early, just like they did against the Cowboys, the Packers could probably try to force a few turnovers on Purdy. Because Purdy is going to be forced to make those big throws. He's going to be forced to play hero ball, hero football. But I'm going to say this. The Niners have been one of the toughest teams in the NFC this year. And if you lose to the Packers, the Green Bay Packers, a first-year starting quarterback in Jordan Love, if you lose to them, we're going to be having conversations on if this team can make the Super Bowl again next year. We're going to be having conversations, is Mr. Irrelevant the right choice? Is the defense going to stay intact? Now, I'm not trying to be a hater. I am not trying to be a hater. because I have massive respect for the 49ers. I got mass respect for them. But if we look at this Packers team, they got a young receiver core. You got Romeo Doubs, Luke Musgrave. You got Devontae Wicks, Jaden Reed, Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon if he's back this game. And also along with other weapons like Christian Watson. If you lose to a young team with all the talent you have on your roster, with Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle, Antaron Jennings, Elijah Mitchell. And then on defense, you got Chase Young, Nick Bosa, Fred Warner, Jeremy Ward. If you lose to a Packers team that is young, if you lose to them, then you're basically pretty much in trouble. Because, as I said before, Chase Young is not a long-term solution. He's just there for the short-term long run. Because you can't pay Bosa and Chase Young at the same time. It's either one or the other. And then you also got maybe head coaching candidates of both the coordinators of the offensive coordinator for San Francisco and the defensive coordinator for San Francisco. And then also along with Kyle Shanahan. I mean, I'm thinking he's going to stay there. I obviously know he's going to stay there. But if we look at it at Kyle Shanahan's past as a coordinator and coach, he blew a 28-3 lead against the Patriots in Super Bowl 51. In the Super Bowl that the Niners faced off against the Chiefs, you had a 10-point lead against them with 6 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. You choked that up. And then in the NFC Championship game last year, you went through four quarterbacks. And, there was a lot of excuse for losing four quarterbacks in a season. That was an excuse at that time. But if you lose to the Packers, there is no excuse that you lose to a Packers team that is young. That defense has looked suspect all year long until that Cowboy game last week. If you lose to a Packers team and you have all your starters in after 2 weeks of rest, you're in trouble. I'm just saying that. I'm not trying to hate. I am not trying to hate. I'm just saying that if you lose to this Packers team, the media is going to be talking about the 49ers if they can go back to the championship game next year. Because if we look at the teams around the NFC, just from a growing perspective, you got the Detroit Lions who are going into a divisional round game against the Bucs, which you'll probably face if you reach the NFC Championship. You got the Green Bay Packers, who you're going against right now, who has a young group of receivers. That's defense has looked suspect. You got maybe potentially the Bears rising if they draft Caleb Williams. You got the Cowboys, who we all know are frauds every year, but they can play good at some points. You got the Eagles, which we don't know what's gonna happen with Nick Sirianni, and now Jason Kelce getting retired. You also have to look at maybe potentially Tampa Bay, because Baker Mayfield's growing into his own. You got the Rams, who got knocked out the first round. And then, depending on the head coaching situation, you may have the Seahawks to deal with. Now, I'm not saying the Seahawks are going to beat the Niners next year. I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying to all the Niners faithful watching this is if you lose to the Pack, there's going to be a lot of questions surrounding this franchise. By me, by YouTubers around the YouTubeverse, and also the media. Because this Niners team has probably been one of the most complete units in the NFL, other than the Ravens. If you lose to the Pack, That is an unexcusable loss. Unexcusable. But anyways, that's my topic for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you're new. Turn on the notification bell. And I'll catch you all in the next one. So long for now.